It's our final segment of the Screen Team, and we're doing it big with Man of Steel. It's the hot new movie that's out in theaters right now. We're going to let you know if it's a hit or if it's a miss or not. Hold on in there, Tiger Lily. We'll get to you in just a second.
Sorry.
This
I thought I was watching Man of Steel.
Warner Brothers. This is Warner Brothers' attempt to kind of get anything besides Batman to be successful, because Batman is definitely has been taking the reins for DC in that particular comic for a while, as Marvel has just been getting hit after hit after hit with Iron Man, the Avengers, and everything above the sun. But this is DC's attempt to get Superman back up and running, and it was directed by Zack Snyder, and it stars Henry Cavill. It also has Amy Adams in it as Lois Lane, Michael Shannon as General Zod, Diane Lane, and Kevin Costner in it as well, and the very kind of talented Russell Crowe.
Kind of talented.
He's in
Have
it
you heard
as
his
well.
albums?
That was generous.
This movie is probably one of the biggest disappointments of 2013 for me. I don't know where to start with this film.
Let me start.
Okay, you go ahead and start.
Okay, so I didn't want to see this movie in the first place. I was
Why not?
already dead set against seeing it because I've seen enough
Of
superheroes. I don't want to be introduced to any more imaginings of recreations of, dream, another dream for me. That's all I have to say. Okay, no, I have more to say.
Okay.
So I think that this movie was filled with so much action and fighting. It was like, oh, let's do it from this angle. Talk, talk, talk. Let's do that same scene from this angle. Talk, talk, talk. Let's see how many more buildings we can destroy. Talk, talk, talk. And I mean, literally, there was nothing else to this movie.
Yes.
There was nothing else. It was all flying, beating up, killing, shooting, flying, beating up, killing, shooting, flying. And then Lois Lane got to talk a few times.
And Matt's like, what's the problem here?
I hated this movie.
Sabrina, I mean, usually you and I don't agree on stuff, but I'm 100% in agreement with you. And I'm going to put all the blame on Zack Snyder. I do not like this man. I think he's ruined many, many films.
Who is this guy?
He's the director of Man of Steel. He's also directed
Watchmen 300, the
Sucker
remake
Punch. Remember Sucker Punch?
Oh, yeah.
This
I try to
guy,
forget.
I can understand why they wanted to put him in this film, because he's a very visual guy. He's an action guy. I understand that. But I think what was missing in the Superman Returns film was the heart of Superman and the characters that you love. And this film just kind of bypassed all that and was still going for the visual aspect. And I didn't really care about the visual aspect. I wanted more of the heart. I wanted to care about these characters, and I didn't. Amy Adams, I love her. I think she's a great actress, but just for some reason, I thought her as Lois, it just didn't fit. I don't know why. Lawrence Fishburne's in it as well.
Not enough of him though.
Yeah. I will give props to Henry Cavill. I think that's his name. He's a British actor. He played Superman in this film. I like him. I like his Superman. I like his Clark Kent. I think down the road he's gonna be good. But I think if this series is going to be successful, it needs a different director, one that can get more of the heart back to it.
Get some more soul.
Yeah. What do you think, Matt?
I actually really like this film. So I know I'm in the minority out of this group, and I know that you guys had the same stance that a lot of critics had, that there wasn't enough heart to it, there wasn't enough wow factor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like one review that I read said that the only time that he was really impressed, the only time that he really felt like a kid was whenever he was discovering to fly, when Superman was first learning to fly.
I'll agree with that.
And he didn't really feel like there was much else there. I disagree. I thought there was a ton of heart with this. With Kevin Costner especially, there were a couple of scenes that were just really kind of choke you up, and I thought that was good. I thought that he did a phenomenal job with that. I thought that they did a lot more to develop this Superman than probably the other ones. Now, Christopher Reeve, in my opinion, is still by far the best.
Amen.
The first two Superman movies are still the best in the series.
Yep.
But I thought this was a great entry. This is the third best out of it. And I know it's not saying much, because when you compare Superman Quest for Peace...
What about
Returns,
Richard Pryor, man? Superman 3? Come on, man.
I love Richard Pryor.
I'd rather watch this one again.
Oh, no, dude. Come on.
I will agree with you, Matt. I think that the side characters, they were good. It's
Right.
just that there was so very little to their story, to their presence on the screen, that it was overwrought with an hour's worth of fighting, flying, and blowing up buildings and machinery and stuff like that. It was just so overdone that I couldn't remember half the other story.
I like action, but when you have too much action and action that doesn't really mean anything, it's boring, and you're
It's
just
like
kinda
going to the fights.
I would disagree with I thought one part was really lame with Kevin Costner when his character finally dies in the film. He's like waving and there's a tornado behind him. It just seemed really, really
Okay, see
weak.
ya.
It seemed really, really weak. But that's just one of the things I'm.
Yeah. Who stands at the edge of a tornado waiting for it to engulf them with a smile on their face?
I know, right? I know.
I'm going to say one thing that I really did like about this movie was the ship, and when Russell Crowe's character, Jor-El, yeah, when he says he comes alive on the ship and starts telling the story, and that ship was making all these steel pictures, and they were morphing, and they were just recreating the images, but they were done so artistically. Like, I would like to walk into a building and experience that. Like, if they had
museums there.
Seriously, if they had a museum for Superman and that was one of its features, I'd pay whatever entry it was. I'd walk right in, I'd stand there, and I'd be like freaking awe.
Yeah.
That was cool. If I could experience that in person, I'd forget all of the things I said about this movie.
I was not a fan of the first 20 minutes of this film where you're introduced to Krypton and Superman's dad and the conflict they have with Zod. I didn't like Zack Snyder's version of Krypton.
It took me out of the film a little bit too. I thought that it looked good. I think that they did okay with it, but I think there was a little bit too much.
Why was he riding a dragon? Can someone explain that to me?
Why wouldn't he be riding a dragon?
I thought I dropped right back into that Blue movie.
Blue movie?
Oh, Avatar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
It's not that overrated.
It's the same daggum dragon.
He didn't lock hairs with it, though.
That's true.
But you can probably expect some more Man of Steel movies. I just hope Zack Snyder isn't directing any more of these. But we'll see. And of course, Warner Brothers and DC are going to want to do the Justice League movie, and that's still kind of in the works, but it's still very, very in the early stages.
Christian Bale's on record for saying that he doesn't want to do that because it can't be Christopher Nolan's. His Batman was too realistic to how would he be in the real world?
Yeah,
and so he couldn't be in the Justice League movie because of that. There's just no way Superman could exist. There's no way that Aquaman and all these other guys could exist. So,
And Warner Brothers really needs to get on the ball and start introducing the other movies, the Wonder Woman, the Aquaman, before they can even do a Justice League movie.
Marvel did so well with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not really a DC fan. I do love some of their comics, like Batman, for example, but they haven't been able to do as much with it outside of Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
They tried with Green Lantern, and they made it more about special effects. That was my complaint. What you guys just said about Man of Steel, I totally said about Green Lantern.
So did he.
Yep.
Yeah.
I liked it, though.
Because Ryan Reynolds was in it.
That's right.
In a tight green suit.
Matt,
it was CGI.
Matt, we appreciate you being on the show again. We look forward to having you on the Screen Team again, and have a great 4th of July, brother.
Hey, thanks, man. Right back at you.
Coming up next week on the Screen Team, we'll have This Is the End. We'll have Side Effects, and our personal pick will be Scooby-Doo. We'll get to that next week at 6 p.m. on the Screen Team. For Matt, Sabrina, and Chris, we're the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KW.